everyone was quite excited, I would say, when, you know, they heard the directive from the president saying we should crash food prices. Well, this is a welcome development in my books, I must say. Everybody looks forward to getting food at a cheaper rate. But let's look at the constraints, talk about insecurity, talk about inflation, talk about the high cost of petrol and diesel, fertilizer, even pest infestation. Do you think that this is actually achievable?
Well, thank you very much for this. First things first, let us commend Mr. President because intervention is normal in any business, you know, or in any government. And for Mr. President to take that bold step, I think he has good intention, you know, to service the Nigerian economy because food is critical. But again, one area I want to, you know, advise Mr. President is having direct interface with the farmers. You understand? Because I've seen several interventions and we've had meetings at the highest level, but there were never been a time where, you know, the farmers have direct access to, you know, Mr. President or those, you know, within the ministry. What do I mean by that? We have a group, or we have an association, which is the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, which is the umbrella body of over 82 commodity associations in the country today. Many people are aware of this, but why are we not having direct interface? Because if you have to introduce any policy that have direct impact on Nigerians, at least you need an access route. What do I mean? The farmers, who are the major stakeholders in the whole process, you need to sit down and have a dialogue with them because we have the numbers. With over 15 million farmers across the nation, they have the capacity to advise you on the best way forward. And that is why this morning, when I got this invitation yesterday, I was so glad about it because it's a time for us to look at this thing holistically because it affects you, it affects me, it affects every Nigerian.
Okay, now when it comes to having direct interface with the president, I would also like to ask, do you have direct interface with the various subnational governments, whether it's the local government chairman, the various governors? Because really, federal government don't have land. These lands are domiciled in the various states and local governments. Now, let's also look at the directive from the president. From your years of experience, do you think the subnationals are ready to help ease the passage of produce from the farm to the markets and all that because of their desire for tax revenue?
Yeah, that's a very good point. And again, if you look at the way it is being planned out from the presidency down to the subnationals, they have a vote to work with. We are directly, you know, involved in the process of farming, producing the, you know, the crops that should be used domestically or cash crops. So whichever way you look at it, we've been having issues of communication between us and the subnationals because over time, we found that this intervention, especially when we have these, like the Anchor Porous program, for instance, does it get directly to the farmers? That has been a critical point because if you have to carry out an intervention, who is this money going to and how is it being utilized? How do you measure the impact? These are some of the critical points. And that is why if you look at the situation we have in the country today, whereby there's inflation, there's you know, insecurity everywhere, is because we don't have direct communication, we don't have direct access to those in power because they politicize the whole thing. If you politicize it, there's no way you can get across to those these things matter to. And if you look at this year, for instance, when Mr. President came into office, we celebrated him because what he brought to the table, over 1.5 trillion invested in agriculture. Why is it that despite this funding, we still witness, you know, inflation, we still witness banditry and rising cost of, you know, food items in the market? That is why we said, okay, what we'll do is we want to work with the subnationals, we want to work with the federal government at our level, because there's no way you can have access to the farmers without the umbrella body. And recently, again, I'll add to it that you travel to Brazil, There was a deal, okay? How many farmers, or is the association involved in the B2B communication? There was a government-to-government relationship, but business to business, you need to invite, or rather involve the critical stakeholder, because they are the ones that will negotiate all these deals. And you can imagine, if we, for instance, my president, Dr. Farouk Umar Rabiu, was invited on board, there's no way we'll not come out with big deals up to $10 billion, because we know the areas of concern. Is it cocoa? Is it rice? Is it maize? Is it cashew? We have these, crops that are very well marketable across the world. But at the same time, we need to have inputs. How come the government will be involved in inputs, distribution, and all that? This is within our purview to manage and advise, because we know what is best for the soil. We know what is best for the farmers. And with all this knowledge, you don't expect to show us out and we'll come down to beg you. We don't do that. We watch. And that is why any step government is taking towards addressing these issues, it always hit the road, because you are not having direct interface with the major critical stakeholders.